I've always heard that after day 3, it gets easier. And now is kind of the time to know, the time of the reckoning, because last night was end of day 3, and that shit was not easy. Does it get easier? Does it ever fucking get easier? And my hope is that yes, it does. But my inkling is that it may remain in this state of anticipation. Welcome to the Willpower Podcast. And another solo episode. Let's go. Next week we'll be back with normal guests. This should be the last one for a couple weeks. Yeah, I got a lot today. We'll see how much it actually turns into, but it feels like a lot. I just got back from the gym. Had a pretty light workout. It was nice. Sauna. Did the cold plunge before. It's like a good evening. The big thing, which is probably the title of the video, I'm sure it's no surprise by now, but I am 4 days in to a 7-day fast as I record this. When this is posted, I will be almost done. I'll be at day 6. But I am almost exactly 96 hours in, which would be 4 days, in about 20 minutes. So hopefully I'm still talking when that happens. Let's see. I got back. Came back from Minnesota, back in Austin. It's interesting how food plays such a big role in everything. It was like my last day in Minnesota, I was already starting my fast. I started on the 1st, and then the whole day of the 2nd, I was waiting around to go fly home. And I couldn't focus on anything. Like, I didn't want to do anything. All I could think about was eating. And yeah, so I just sat around and watched TV because I just didn't, that was the only thing. Felt like there was no excitement because the food was gone. I also noticed that on Thursday because I kind of half-heartedly started my fast in the afternoon on the 1st. And then by 7 p.m., I wasn't super hungry, but I felt like I was itching. I felt like I wanted food in this weird way. Again, I wasn't hungry. It wasn't like my stomach wanted it. It just something felt missing. And so I put off the fast start until I ate dinner there from, 7 to 8. So that I officially started at 8. And it was the weirdest experience where I got food. Before I even started eating, I noticed my mood lifted. It was insane. And I didn't really realize before this that food was kind of having that effect on my emotions. So that was interesting. That was good to know. And that's something I've been working with in this fast, is noticing that when food is gone, there are a lot of emotions and a lot of weird feelings that I'm not used to and that I don't normally experience. I was really sad leaving home. It's not like I'm never sad to leave home, but it just felt down. It wasn't just sadness. It was down. I don't know if I would call it depression, but at least for that day, it felt just nothing felt exciting. Nothing felt like I wanted to do it. Nothing felt optimistic. And that's a weird way to feel on the January weekend. But that's what I was, and that's where I was. And I think usually when I have an inkling of that feeling, I immediately squash it with something. And that could be food. Food's probably one of the biggest ones. So yeah, it's been a really interesting experience. In some ways, it's been a good experience to confront these things and just go head on, knowing I don't have any armor. I don't have any safety against these. I don't have a back door to slip out of like I typically do, because I'm not going to eat. And eating isn't an option right now. So that's something to notice. Definitely has it's zapped my motivation the first couple days. Like I mentioned on Friday, I did not want to do anything. Saturday was slightly different, though I still felt like I didn't work Saturday or Sunday or Friday. And I was a little worried because Monday's coming around. I'm like, okay, there's stuff I want to get done. I don't know if I'm going to have the juice to do it. And yeah, sure enough, today I woke up and I was able to get into it. And that felt really good because I haven't really worked, food aside, I haven't worked without caffeine in a while. that's kind of been like my routine in the morning when I'm working is I have a cup of coffee, the very least a cup of tea. And so going in raw, going in with nothing, no caffeine, no food, just me was, I wasn't sure if I was going to like do it, especially because I don't work a normal job. I just like am working on a project that's all me, or at least I'm the only one making the rules. I was a little worried that I just wouldn't do anything, just kind of do whatever it took to take my mind off the fast. And it turns out that working did end up doing that. And that it was awesome. It was great that I was able to get some pretty decent work in, see that I still can do that without caffeine, especially because I'm now like 3 days off, 4 days off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, now Monday. So yeah, 4 days off because the last cup of coffee I had was on Thursday. So I have still got it, and that's good to know. And it's giving me inklings of thought that maybe I should take some more time off caffeine. Maybe I should put it aside for a bit. And we'll see. We'll see if I actually do that. But that is something that this fast is reminding me, is that I don't need caffeine. And once I get over the withdrawal, the first 3 days or the first 2 days where I feel just like lazy and tired, there's a bright side to it. There's like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's another thing. Quitting caffeine while you're fasting is also kind of challenging. One thing I've been noticing this time around, because this is the first fast I've done since my Vipassana meditation retreat, and that was a 10-day quiet, basically silent retreat, is that fasting is very, very similar in a lot of ways to that kind of thing. Basically, you're cutting out a certain stimulation from your life, a certain stimulus. In this case, it's food. In the case of Vipassana, it's like every other type of stimulation, every kind of screen, human contact, activity, anything like that you're taking away. And again, with fasting, it's just the food aspect. You still have all the other things, but when you take away food, it really becomes very prevalent and comes to the top, comes to the surface quick. It's hard to ignore. One of the things I noticed that I did during the Vipassana retreat that has been happening during this fast is constantly counting down the time left. During my Vipassana retreat, I feel like every evening I would like count down how many days were still left. Okay, we got three more days, or we got 6 more days. And I would try not to, but with that much time to myself, it was almost impossible not to, at some point, start thinking about how much time is left. And so every single day, I would know exactly how much time was left, like to the hour. Now, this week, very similar. I literally have a countdown that I made. So I like know exactly how much time is left. Like when I started this, I knew exactly where I was at. I'm almost at the 3-day mark left, which means I'm almost at the 4-day mark in. And yeah, it's not great. It's not great to constantly be counting down how much time is left. For whatever reason, in the moment, it feels good. It just then after it, I talked about this with the ultra, but when I think about when I'm going to be done, it tricks my brain into thinking that, oh, we might be done now. Like, because I'm thinking about that thing that's going to happen, which is me eating. And then now my brain goes, oh, that's going to happen now, right? And then I have the disappointment of, no, it's not going to happen now. It's not. That's not the time. Same with the run. I'd be thinking about when is it going to be over? And then that would make my brain think about, oh, are we done now? And immediately there's that swing back into the negative. So I think that's something interesting that happens. It's like, yes, you can give in to the counting down, and that will give you a spike, an increase in your well-being, your feelings of excitement, whatever you want to call it, positive emotion. And then as soon as you do that, you're going to have that realization that, oh, this is not now. Boom, back down. So you can have those swings. I think it's probably better not to, but I don't know how to get rid of them fully. Definitely, it's possible to like reduce those. Just being more mindful, being more in the moment, doing things as a reminder that this hunger doesn't have to be my sole focus. Just because I'm doing this thing for 7 days doesn't mean that's the only thing I can do for these 7 days. I don't have to like sit in the fetal position and wait 7 days. I can do other stuff. I can live my life. And that's nice. Yeah, like today has been, again, like I mentioned, I was very surprised with myself and very happy about it that I was able to work and have a normal day and then do the cold plunge, go to the gym, sauna, come back here, record this. There's still so many things I can do. That brings me to one of the biggest challenges of this fast, and that is the nighttime. That's where I'm at right now. It's almost 8 p.m. and this is honestly the hardest part is going to be the next few hours. So yesterday, felt like an easy day. I didn't do much in the morning. I hung around the house, went to my men's group, did a workout. Things were good. Things were feeling real good. And then I go home, I go to this free comedy show, and I get home around like 8:30 or 9. I expected like, oh, I'll probably be ready to go to bed around 10. So it's like I get home at 9. I plan this comedy show as like kind of a distraction, something to do. Get home at 9 and I get ready for bed and I'm not tired. I'm not falling asleep. I want to, but my body is like not going to. And I get in this weird state where my mind is like, it's almost like buzzing. Like, it feels super like awake, super alert. And so my head's buzzing and I'm just like, I'm laying in bed, but I'm not going to be able to sleep. So I come out, I lay on the couch. I try not to lay in bed when I'm not able to sleep. I've heard that that's just creates like a negative association. I don't know. That's what I do. So I laid on the couch for a while. I turned on some climbing documentary. I'm real excited for this Alex Honnold Taipei 101 climbing free solo. That's crazy. It's insane. But anyway, so I turn on a documentary about another guy who's climbing and I try to like watch and close my eyes and just relax. It's not happening. It's like 11, still nothing. 12 rolls around. I'm not sleeping. I am wide awake. And by the way, I have my red light glasses on. So I'm not like keeping myself up with the screen, if that makes sense. I could see where that would be a misunderstanding and I would avoid that. But I had my red light glasses on. I'm just laying here. I'm wide awake. It's like 12:30. And at this point, I'm like, so I do my Vipassana meditation twice a day, right? 1 hour. So it's 12:30 and I'm like, if I'm not going to sleep, I might as well knock out my morning meditation right now. Good call. So I start doing it. I start my timer. By the way, this entire time that I'm watching, I am like every probably 5 minutes fantasizing about food. I'm thinking about like what I have downstairs, what I'm going to eat when I'm done, what I could eat right now. Cause I was at the 3-day mark and I've only ever gone to 3.5 days, but 3 days is my typical fast when I've done them in the past. So a part of me is like, hey, motherfucker, you finished. You're done with 3 days. Like you could just give up right now and it would be fine. No one's the wiser. You did 3 days. Just forget that you ever wanted to do 7 days. So every 5 minutes, probably, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about, oh, what could I eat right now? And again, nighttime, man. Nighttime, nothing going on, no stimulation. Trying to distract myself, trying to fall asleep, not happening. So I end up, there's nothing really interesting. I end up doing my meditation at 12:30 a.m. And then think I probably fell asleep around 2 or so. So I'm still trying to figure out how to sleep normal when I'm fasting. I did the cold plunge today, which typically helps with my sleep, I've noticed. So potentially that helps. I also did the sauna, which I think does something. I don't know, maybe heating up my core a little bit can do something to put me into a better sleep later on. Yeah, man, I'm making any excuse to think about food. Like today I was working out and I turn my phone off when I work out as just a way to have some quiet time, some time without the phone, with no podcasts or music or anything, just me and my workout. And in the middle of my workout, I started thinking about like, okay, I need to figure out how to end this fast. And I'm like tricking myself into thinking it's like productive. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I like do the right type of ending to the fast. Like I need to make sure I eat the right thing. But it's like, dude, you're just using that as an excuse to think about food. That's all it is. And I'm in the car and my phone's back on and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I need to look up how to end the fast. And it's like, I have 3 more days. I have 3 days to figure that out. Why is this suddenly like a priority? And the reason is it's me playing tricks on myself, trying to get myself to think about food. Any excuse I will take at this time to think about. Roommate cooks, it smells fucking amazing. I'm like, fuck, I gotta close my door. Just like, again, thinking about food, that same thing, or smelling something good. It's just that positive, negative. It just hits in those spikes. It's positive when I think about the food and I imagine eating it, and I imagine when I'm done with this. And then the negative when I realize I'm not done with this. I'm going to keep doing this for a while longer. So that's that. Again, 4 days in, this is the farthest I've ever gone into a fast. I guess I should like lay down details of what I'm actually doing. So the way I'm doing this is water, salt is allowed, and my vitamins are allowed. Vitamins don't have any sugar or anything like that. They're pretty simple stuff. I guess the one thing that would technically be calories is fish oil, which I'm probably going to stop now that I realize that, because I didn't even think about that. All the other stuff is just vitamin C, magnesium, nothing with sugar in it. I haven't really been doing much salt. I feel as though maybe I should. That may help with cravings. But an interesting thing is I have not been as thirsty as normal. I've not been drinking that much water, and I think I got it. There's a gnat that's been bugging me. It seems that when I drink enough water, it does actually cut through the hunger cravings slightly. That's to say, if I have less water, I notice the hunger more. Don't know why that is. Doesn't really make sense, but there's probably some reason, whatever that is. So I'm trying to make sure to drink water because I don't feel that thirsty. I don't feel like I crave water. I just feel like I crave food. And so I have to kind of stay on top of it, make myself do more than natural, what feels natural. Yeah. So that's where we're at. 4 days in on 7 days total. Have never been this far. I'm hoping that I've always heard that after day 3, it gets easier. And now is kind of the time to know, the time of the reckoning, because last night was end of day 3 and that shit was not easy. The nighttime was not easy. Today during the day was not too bad. But now, again, nighttime comes. Nighttime's the hard time. Now we're going to see, does it get easier? Does it ever fucking get easier? And my hope is that yes, it does. But my inkling is that it may remain in the state of anticipation, or I may remain in the state of anticipation, knowing that I'm kind of winding towards 7. Of course, it's not within sight yet. This is like being at mile 60 in the 100-mile race. There's still a long way to go. But unlike the 100-mile race, it doesn't get harder as you go. The 100-miler is like easier in the beginning, and then it's much harder in the end. This seems to get easier as you go. What else do we got? We got the new version of Grooves coming soon. I am very, very hopeful that it comes out by this Saturday. So anyone listening, please, I would be honored if you checked it out. We're going to make sure that we get, you get a good free trial, full 7 days. And on top of that, what's a new aspect to the pricing model is once you hit 7, you get 30 days free if, and only if, you're able to stay consistent those first 7 days. And that means checking in every single day. So for 7 days straight, you got to hit your wellness check-in. And if you do that, you get 30 days free. And that's kind of our reward for you staying consistent, keeping up with it, and doing what is hopefully best for you. I think giving it a full try is probably best for you, because otherwise there's no way of knowing whether or not it could be helpful. So that's huge. Grooves, big update. I've been working on it for about a month. My buddy put together the design, and then we went back and forth on some changes and making sure it all makes sense. And then I have been building it the past month. Super excited for this. I think it could change the game. Can't overemphasize that. I've been thinking about food, but that's like the second thing on my mind is like getting this out there, getting this ready. And it's really getting there. It's really like on the edge of just like fine tuning some things. I think the majority of the features are like done, with a few bugs here and there, and then a few like little edges to clean up along the way. So That is super exciting. I'm beyond stoked about that. And that brings me to another topic, which is, let me see how I can phrase this. I guess you could just call it financial insecurity, like not having an income and not having a clear, yeah, let me just call it that, not having an income. I have been free of a job for 4 months now, since August, 5 months, September, October, November, January, December, January, 5 months. My brain doesn't work as well when I'm fasting. So 5 months free of a job, and I am beginning to feel it. There's so many of them now. As soon as I kill one, I realize there's like 3 more. So as soon as I start that thought, 5 months free, almost zero income for this 5 months, which definitely was not the goal. It was not anticipated. That's where we're at though. And I'm starting to feel like the anxiety around money, because I'm not at the end. It's not like I have no money, but the way it's been going can't go on forever. I can't go on forever making no money. So that scares me. That also makes me feel like, oh, I'm not going to make money. It's never going to change. And so it's been hard. It's been hard the past few weeks. One thing I noticed is when I am anxious about money, it typically comes from not being aware of my current situation. So I hadn't really looked at all my stuff clearly. I have all my bank accounts, of course, all my investments, everything. I'm aware of them, but I hadn't really done all the just math around, okay, if I have this much to pay off here, mortgage payment here, this here, this is how much money I have. If I just did all those calculations, it would change. And it did. But I hadn't been doing those. And so I had this feeling that like things are coming to, they're crashing around me. Everything's falling apart. And I sit down one day and I just like do the math and I figure out, okay, I have this much time to pay off everything. Everything's good there. And things feel much, much calmer after that. I'm not going to say it's like gone. I still am making no money, but the feeling of anxiety just in this like unknown, like what's happening, what could happen. Am I going to lose everything? Which I'm not. I have been pretty well prepared for this. And yeah, things are not going to fall apart, but not having the awareness around it feels that way. And not like looking at things directly feels that way. It seems to be true about most things that I've noticed. Especially with the fast, I felt much more strong emotions in both directions. And so feeling like anxiety that I can't quell because I can't use food to get rid of it. I've noticed that the anxiety seems to be not around a problem itself, but around, or not coming from a problem itself, but coming from my not addressing it. The fact that I don't address a problem is what actually creates the anxiety. When I'm fully aware, this is where I'm at, this is what's going on, there's no anxiety because I know exactly what's going on. And it's only in the unknown that anxiety can exist. And the unknown exists when I don't look fully at something. There are other unknowns, of course, that will always exist. Anything in the future is going to be an unknown. So yes, this isn't a one size fits all, boom, your problem of anxiety is always solved now. But it does appear to me that for the most part, when I know that I've done everything I can do, I don't feel as much anxiety around problems. When I am unaware of a problem and there's just this like big unknown thing, there's much more anxiety. So I can't control the future. I never will be able to, but I can set myself up the best that I know how. And when I do that, I feel pretty comfortable living with myself in that way. And I don't feel like these ruminating thoughts come up about what could happen. Did I do everything I needed to? Did I do everything I could? Did I fuck up? What mistakes did I make? What mistakes am I currently making? That's a big one. Those go away. So recognize that anxiety is there for a reason. It's often a way to bring you up, bring your awareness to the fact that there's something going on that you have not addressed that is happening. Now, there may be people who have chronic anxiety that has nothing to do with real life, and it could just be your brain. But I think for the most part, the majority of people are feeling anxiety because they are not addressing certain things, and you may not even know what it is. It's not always clear what the thing is, but I would bet that there's something going on that is not being addressed, and that manifests itself as anxiety. It's like your brain being like, dude, something's off. Something's going on and we got to figure out what it is, and you're not doing it. So we're going to feel this way until you do. So read those signals, see what you can do. I found that books really get me excited. Like that was Saturday what I did. I went to the bookstore, which is funny. It's funny to be like, I don't have any income. Let me go spend money on books. But I got one. That pulled me out of what I was feeling. It's like financial dread because that got me excited again because I picked up a few like businessy type books. I knew that if I just read about businesses that were successful, that was what I was looking for. I was like, let me just read about some successful businesses. That will give me some mojo. That will like change the way I see this grooves thing right now. And that did. That kind of transferred the lens. And so that's huge. Yeah, I think reading, there's a lot to say about reading. It can do things like teach genuine lessons, like long-term lessons. And then it can also do things like short-term motivation. And I think a lot of self-help and business type books do the latter and not the former. They don't do it that much like long-term teaching, at least I don't want to say that the book doesn't have the potential to do that because I think a lot of the books do, but the way that they are used, the way that people read them often turns into the latter, which is just for motivation. Like people just read self-help as like a fun thing they do. And it actually long-term doesn't necessarily do a whole bunch, but that's not to say it's not valuable. Like me feeling like shit and feeling like, oh, I'm fucked. Like I'm going to go broke and like have no money and never be able to, or like whatever happened, like go bankrupt and lose my house or something. That mindset and like thinking that way does not help me. And so if a business book is able to pull me out of that, that's pretty fucking valuable. That is very worthwhile. Even if it's only a, temporary motivation, if that changes the way I'm thinking, that could easily translate to, a steady climb. Books can be valuable. Yeah, I'm trying to think about what else has been going on. No stand-up comedy lately. I went to a show last night. We shall see if I get back on stage. I think it would be fun. The only thing about that is the open mics kind of turn me off. It just isn't that appealing to go and wait, wait for 3 minutes to talk in front of 20 other comedians. At the same time, I understand there's no reason why I should expect people to want to listen to me. So it's not me saying it should be any other way. It's just me saying this isn't that appealing in the way that I have to go about it. But of course, the only way to get to the point where people want to listen is to go through that phase. So that's what would have to happen if I decide to continue down that road. On New Year's Eve, I did karaoke. That was fun. That was my first time ever doing karaoke. I've never liked singing in front of people. And I decided at the beginning of this year, I might have mentioned it on here, I don't know, but I decided that was one of the things. It was improv, stand-up comedy, karaoke. And I knocked off improv pretty early in the year. Stand-up comedy was, of course, in November. And then karaoke, I just was putting that shit off. And I was like talking to my girlfriend about it. I'm like, we have to do it. And so when she was in Minnesota visiting with my family, I got her out and we went on 31st of December. And we went up at like 10:30. Well, like it was like right before the end of the year, maybe 10:45. And so that felt really good because there was a number. That's a whole story. I actually wrote about that on Substack. Yeah, that felt like a huge accomplishment. And there were times where I didn't want to do it. Most of the time I didn't want to do it. And we did it and it was a ton of fun. Yeah, very glad that I did. And now I feel a big sense of accomplishment having done those 3 things in 2025, because I knew that each of them was going to stretch me in different ways and push me. And yeah, the fact that I stuck with that and followed through, that feels good. And I actually have had no similar goals for this year, no resolutions, no like thoughts about what I want to get done in 2026. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to. I think I would like to, but I haven't gotten there yet. So it's the next step. One other thing about grooves, I want to start transferring my mindset of what success looks like. In the first few months, success was, users, but then also like paying users. That was a big mark of success. And I think what I want to start defining success as is recurring users, like people who continue to use the app. I think that means a lot more. It doesn't matter if they're paying for it or not. It could be on the free version. If they're using it regularly, that's a huge marker that something is going well. And it also transfers the way I think about it from how do I make the most money to how do I make the app that is the most helpful and that people are going to stick with. Because you could make an app that's really good for people that no one uses. That's not valuable at all. And then you could also make an app that is not helpful, but is super sticky, super addictive, and that's also not helpful. So finding the both is the way to make, I think, the best product. Is, I don't know how to explain, but the one that helps the most people, does the most good, is the one that is sticky, people want to continue to use, and helps the people that do use it. So that's the way I'm trying to think about things with that. It's nice to be back with Reba. You see her in the background there. Yeah, she's an awesome dog. I took her to the dog park on Saturday. And yeah, it's nice to see her getting back into playing with other dogs. There was like a period where when she was younger, I would take her to the dog park all the time. And then there was probably a period of like a year or two where I just didn't do it as much. It kind of fell out of that routine. I fell out of my mental space. Lately, I've been trying to take her back. And it's funny to see how she gets, like it takes her time to get used to being around dogs and like playing with dogs. But I noticed on Saturday that she was going up and trying to play with dogs. So that's really fun to see. I don't know. Any dog owner out there, you know how fun, like how good it feels to see your dog in a playful mood. It's the best. It's like one of my favorite things is when Reba does her play bow. So anyways, I don't think I have much else to talk about here. Just kind of getting through this 7 days. This is another just like challenge, I guess. I realize there are a number of similar challenges I've knocked out this past year. And so this 7-day fast is going to be one of those. So 2025 was Vipassana and the 100-miler. And then also stand-up comedy, I feel like is one of those. It's not the exact same. It's not an endurance thing, but feels similar. This fast is the start of the year, start of building some willpower, keeping that thing going, keeping things moving. And then grooves is going to be a huge part of my 2026. I already know that. Whether for good or for $0, it will be a part of my life. So with that, I will leave you all. Just know if you're listening the day this comes out, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Just wait till Thursday. You can celebrate with me as I eat whatever my first meal back is. All right, y'all. I will be back next week with a normal episode with a guest. Yeah. Bye, everyone.